Hi, everybody. Earl Snyder here again with another episode of the Cryptopolitan podcast. And today's guest is Rebekah. Rebekah, how are you?
Hello, I am well. Thank you.
Fantastic. Where are you calling in from today?
Today I am in Berlin, Germany.
Oh, cool.
Hmm.
The last time I was in Germany, I got dragged into this little town in the middle of nowhere, and it looked like a storybook. And I swear to you, like the little churches and the little everything, the architecture was so cool. So
It's
I do love that
it's
about
just
Germany.
like it's just like Disney World, but real life. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, absolutely. I kind of half, expected Cinderella or Belle to just burst out singing, right? It's just like this is this is really cool looking. So yeah, absolutely. I'm jealous. The food there is fantastic. So
I think after being here for so many years, I've been here for about 5 years now. I'm originally from the States,
okay.
and I I after all these years, I can say that I miss American food.
Miss American food. I
Yeah.
know it's cliche, but like the whole, the sausage and sauerkraut and the beer thing when I was there was like phenomenal.
You can only eat so much schnitzel before
Oh,
you've
that's
just
true. That's true. After a while,
you've
I was
had
like,
it.
you're schnitzeled out. I get it. I feel you. So
Yeah.
awesome. Well, why don't we dive right in? What are you working on?
So currently, I am a founder of a Web3 creative marketing agency.
Okay.
But I recently exited from a real world assets blockchain project based in Switzerland.
Mhm.
I was the only woman founder on a team of like 30 guys. I had five other founders on the team. And I was responsible for the marketing, of course,
Gotcha.
for
Now
it.
you're going to stretch your wings and do it for other people.
And now since I've exited since January this year, I'm like, you know what? I being a founder of a blockchain company is like a roller coaster, very
Hmm.
stressful, a lot of responsibility. And I honestly, I don't think I'm going to be running back to do that anytime soon.
Right, right.
I learned a lot. It was very, I,
All good.
I texted my boyfriend. I was like, don't call me. I'm in an interview. And then he calls me.
Of course.
Um, so yeah, so rewind. I had my fill when it comes to like being a blockchain crypto founder.
Right.
And but the thing is, I realized it opened my eyes to how much I really just I want to be that supporting role for founders. I
Hmm.
love supporting people who are chasing their dreams, who are innovating, who are finding like unicorn crazy like ideas that are going to change the world. And I want to be a part of helping develop the strategy, helping create the creatives and develop the marketing plan to bring it to the world.
So
Um,
what's your favorite part? Funny enough, I do crypto marketing as well. So I mean, it's very different from traditional marketing, right? So you start to see all these weird differences. Like everybody in traditional marketing, they hang out in like the Instagrams and the WhatsApp of the world, whereas this is all in Discord and Telegram and different platforms, different places. So
Twitter, right?
I'm yeah, exactly, and it, Twitter Spaces and like what the hell's a Twitter Space before I was in Web3 space. I'm like, yeah,
All the normies don't get it. They don't get it.
right, right.
If you're not in the Web3 world, they're like, you're on Twitter Spaces, like you're hanging on Twitter Spaces all day. Like, who does that? Well, there's actually a lot of people who do it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and you get a lot of traction and a lot of viewers and a lot of, it's a really simple thing, right? You fish where the fish are, right? Like, so,
Exactly.
I mean, so yeah, so back to your insight, like you were the founder, you did all the marketing stuff. You know, what was the most interesting part about marketing in the Web3 space that caught your attention that differs from, like we said, the normies?
So I will say that a lot of people are focused on like I've just noticed from marketing my own blockchain company, and we had a cryptocurrency. We were listed on exchanges,
Hmm.
dealing with real world assets. We had like an actual use case for the token, and so it wasn't like a meme coin or anything,
Hmm.
or an NFT project. And here's the thing: I found that I thought influencers would bring us so much traction and like money and like engagement, but actually it is so hard to find influencers that don't are full of bots. And like I think that was my biggest uphill battle, was like I had so many different like influencers, or they're called like KOLs now,
Yeah, yeah.
that they like promised the world, but then they
Mhm.
couldn't like actually deliver real results. Like they delivered the likes and the clicks were there, like all of
But
the,
no action after
but
the
no
fact.
like actual people wanting to pay for the like our product.
Right.
So
There's actually not much different between like the normies and the Web3 in that regard. We spent I think 1.5 million paying influencers and KOLs. We still call them KOLs outside of Web3.
yeah,
Um, and we spent that much on YouTube and just getting influencers and whatnot. And we found that actually it's not the big ones. It's not the ones with the gigantic following. It's the little ones that we got all the
yeah,
traction on, right? We also made like we made our money back. We broke even. And then
yeah.
obviously you make money on the back end as a marketer, but man, we broke even on the little guys and the big ones. It was just throwing money into the void, right?
Yeah, exactly. It was like I don't even know how this got approved by the executives, but like I didn't want to go through with it, but all of my partners like, no, 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 this is like the best guy in crypto. We gotta get him. I I I don't even want to say the number, like I'm embarrassed
Okay.
of how much we paid for him. It
Mhm.
was it was five figures, but like in the
Okay.
upper echelons,
Upper echelon five
upper
figures,
five figures,
and the
and then
ROI was drum
and the
roll.
ROI was like practically zero.
Oh
Like
gosh.
it was so bad that I was like, I knew this wasn't a good idea, you guys. I'm in charge of the marketing. Why don't you listen to me? And that was honestly the downfall of our partnership at the end,
Mhm.
because if you're in a partnership as a crypto founder, like a blockchain founder, and you don't see eye to eye with your partners,
Right.
problem huge problem, especially if you have one person or one or two people who are in charge of the money, and then
Hmm.
everyone else has to go to them to get approval.
Right,
Then
right.
you're in a really
I
bad
follow. I
situation.
mean, people still use bus ads, right? And those really, quote unquote, don't work. So yeah, man. So
Exactly.
I
It's true.
follow.
And people are buying magazine ads. Like people are still doing buying billboards and stuff. And it's like, why are you throwing
Yeah,
your money toward the wind?
exactly.
So, if you look at where people are going, they are engaging with their friends.
Hmm.
They want to be buying from what their friends are recommending. And these small influencers, exactly what you said, the small influencers had the best ROI, like the micro influencers, the ones that had like
Yes.
1,000 or a couple thousand followers, because they had like, it was like all of their friends that they brought into their community, and they would be
Hmm.
actively telling them about things that they were involved with, things they were learning, things that they found entertaining or whatever. And we found that to be the best, one of the best, like affiliate marketing, like actually using an
Yes.
affiliate link, and then their friends are selling to the friends, and then
Hmm.
having that referral. Huge, huge ROI, huge engagement difference, when we were focused more on the smaller influencers, for sure. Yeah.
Absolutely. Any other insights that you've noticed that like,
Yeah, just like
Telegram
going.
versus Discord versus whatever else? Are there any channels you notice some weird patterns in that you want to just
To be
elaborate
honest,
on?
I'm not a big fan of Discord. I actually hate it.
All good. It
I
is chaos, right? It's like you took a kitten, you stuck it in the bag, and you shook it, and then you just let it out,
Oh
right?
my gosh. Whenever I go to Discord, I get anxiety. I'm like, what is like, where do I go? Where are the channels where people are actually like engaging on? And it's just so much, right? There's just so much volume, and then there's just so many different things. It's like an
Hmm.
ADHD person's like worst nightmare. And so I avoid Discord really. I think it's more for, in my opinion, it's more for like projects that are like in NFTs and memes and gaming. That's more
Hmm.
like gaming.
Gaming is big, and obviously that's what Discord was for, the gaming,
Yeah,
right?
from my experience, I worked in real world assets, so we sold technology metals, rare earth metals. And now I'm just with my agency, is Web3 agency. I am helping real estate tokenization,
Fantastic.
and we are focused on Twitter and Telegram and YouTube.
Fantastic.
Um,
I
I
like those
think
platforms.
I think that there's just a different audience. Like it's not 100% like the degen
Hmm.
people.
Yeah.
Uh it's not 100% like the crypto like fanatics, but
Right.
it's like not 100% like traditional finance either. So like
The
we have,
medium on those platforms that you've selected.
yeah. I think like the institutional, and also LinkedIn. LinkedIn is something, not, don't sleep on LinkedIn. A lot of companies in blockchain don't take advantage of LinkedIn enough,
Mm.
especially for if they're looking for funding, or
I'd
if
have
they're,
to agree with that. LinkedIn is my strongest platform. So yeah, I agree 100%.
yeah. And I think that because in Web3, like you always hear Discord, Twitter, Discord, Twitter, Discord, Twitter,
Hmm.
like those, if you don't have a big following on those two, or like a big community or a Telegram, then it's like, what do you even have?
Right.
Like, what's your foundation? But I actually, I'm kind of, I see it differently. I think that you don't really need a big following. You just need to have an engaged following, just like the
Agreed.
KOLs.
Agreed.
You need to have people that care about your project and want to invest and want to hang around for the long term.
Mm.
That,
I always find that the little guys who have the better engagement, there's actual real conversations as opposed to the big ones who are just shouting at a giant mass of, there's no structure.
yeah, and there's so
You
many
still get a lot
bots.
of,
There's
yeah,
so
yeah,
many bots.
understand. There's so many bots.
You can't
So,
trust them. Like I said, that like that guy we paid that was like, the 5 figures, upper echelons. I can't tell you, and maybe this is my own fault. Like I need to find a software that can vet these influencers better, before going and paying them, a
oh,
large.
absolutely. I do that too. So whenever a KOL approaches me, I actually have we won't need a software right now because we're not sponsoring them, but
Yeah.
it's just like, okay, well, we use the software, and then whatever percentage the software comes back as real versus bots, we hit them back with their, okay, well, you asked for $1,000, but 60% of your following is bots, so we'll give you $400. How's that,
Yeah.
right? And so, yeah, that seems to be a fairer price. And from there, you get usually better chances of break even and ROI, right?
Yeah,
So,
I have a guy that checks it for me, and then he lets me know. So it is like negotiation. It is good.
mhm.
But like I said, when you have partners that don't listen to you and they just do their own
Well, if
thing
they
and then
fell for the
pay,
hype, they fell for the hype, right? It is what it is. So,
just
yeah,
I'm just saying, I am so happy I am out of being a founder of a crypto company. I'm really happy to have a Web3 marketing agency and support
right,
those guys and gals who are building the next generation of blockchain business
absolutely,
and everything.
fantastic. So when you're not building your agency, when you're not trying to tokenize real estate, when you're not doing all those things, what do you do for fun? What do you do when you're away from your screen, or unless you play video games and you're sitting on your screen? But what do you do for fun?
So I recently, actually just on Monday, I completed all of my requirements for my master's of
Oh,
business
congratulations.
administration. So that was my fun. For the last 3.5 years, I was doing an online master's degree at Rice University.
Okay.
And being here in Germany and studying in Texas, you can just only imagine the time difference.
I was
And
gonna
I was
say, yeah.
up super late, like multiple nights out of the week. And I am just like on cloud nine right now that I'm finished and I get to
Mm.
graduate this May. So
Congratulations.
that's
Fantastic.
exciting.
So now that you're gonna graduate, now you don't have to study all the time and do all this stuff. What do you
Thank
want
God.
to do? What do you want to spend more time doing?
So something that I do with my partner, and then I got him involved in because it was my thing,
Okay.
is Spartan races.
Oh
So
wow.
I was like a nationally competitive tennis player growing up. I got a full ride scholarship for Division I university for playing tennis. And so I was like hardcore athlete my whole life before I got
Wow.
into blockchain and everything. Yeah. And I was actually in 2018, I was in a national award winning tennis coach. It was like that was like my past life. And then I realized, okay, I can't do this for the next 20, 30 years.
Right.
I don't want this to be my career, but I do like sports. Like I do like working out and being fit and like being active. So I got
Hmm.
something called Spartan races. Have you heard of Spartan races?
Oh yeah, it's a tough race.
Oh yeah, it's intense. The first one I ever did was in West Virginia, I think. Or no, it was in Wintergreen, Virginia in the USA. And it was like
Okay.
up and down the ski slopes for
Hmm.
like 10 miles. You're like running up and down, doing obstacles, like climbing up ropes, jumping over.
It's not easy. It's not easy.
No, and then I came here and I found out they had Spartan races in Europe. And I was like, oh, I gotta sign up. I gotta get into it. And so I signed up for this Spartan race in San Croix, Switzerland, which is in
Okay.
like the French Alps, like the French side of Switzerland.
Yes.
And that they said, oh, it's going to be 10 kilometers that you're going to, do this race. I'm like, okay, sounds great. So I trained for 10 kilometers. I have my watch that tracks how far I run.
Mm-hmm.
I get into this thing, I get to 10 kilometers. I'm like, where the heck is the end? And they're like, oh, no. Okay, what, more. I ended up running 10 miles in
Oh
the
boy.
Alps.
Oh geez.
They
So
lied to me.
there's a stairmaster, then there's a stairmaster, and then there's 10 miles in the Alps, right?
Then
So
there's 10 miles in the Alps. Yeah. So that was this. That's my version of fun. I guess I'm a sucker for pain. I like the
hey, you know what?
challenge,
I find people who do these challenges, like people who complete these difficult tasks, like a Spartan race, or like getting a black belt, or whatever that is in your journey. Completion of that structure, getting a master's. So all those dips, all those pieces of the puzzle, where people, like you said, you're a sucker for punishment, end up being better entrepreneurs because we're used to the roller coaster of the ups and downs, right?
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I think if you're not challenging yourself and like constantly keeping yourself like tuned up, I don't know
Yeah.
how, I on the edge, like, getting the edge
Mm-hmm.
mentally, physically, then at some point you're going to fall into complacency. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's
Well,
my
the saying goes, there's only two modes. There's only growing or dying, and that's it. There's no such thing as staying still,
Oh,
right?
that's a good
So,
quote.
so yeah,
Man.
that's pretty much it. And then another one I got from, I think it was Michael Jordan who said this one, who said he always plays as if it's 0-0, right? And he doesn't care if he's 10, 20, 30 points ahead. Doesn't matter. It's 0-0, right? Because it's the next, and when you're playing in that stature, like the next goal wins, you're playing your heart out the entire time,
Right.
every time. And so it makes a big difference when you shift the mindset to look at, hey, this is make it or break it, and it doesn't
I can
matter where
I
you're
can
at.
totally relate. I can totally relate. I have another degree in psychology, a bachelor's of science in psychology.
Hmm.
And this is something that I use all the time in my everyday life. Like I knew I
Mhm.
wanted to get this degree because not because I wanted to go and become like a counselor or like a psychologist, but because I could apply it to any area of life because understanding people and how they tick from a marketing standpoint is
Oh,
very, very
super
helpful.
useful, super useful. So
Yeah.
that'll serve you well in marketing 100%.
So that's another thing that I really enjoy doing is I read a lot of books. Um, I enjoy. I wasn't able to read that much the last couple of months because I was finishing my master's, but now I'm going to get back
We're
into it.
studying. That's still reading.
It's still reading technically. Yeah, yeah. My goal is 36 books this year. I don't know if I'll make it, but
Do that.
yeah, I hope so.
You do that. I was doing a book a week before I had kids, so
Oh man,
you
that's
can crush a
really
book a
good.
week. Absolutely.
Were you doing like a like cover to cover, or were you doing one of those like apps where they give you like the summary?
No, I did something completely different. The way I read is weird. So I also
Okay.
have ADHD. So everyone says getting your ducks in a row. I have squirrels and they're at a rave. So it's a little bit different. Um, so what I did to differentiate myself was I used to make fun of people who used to say like, "Oh, I have 10 years of experience." I go, "Do you have 10 years of experience, or do you have 1 year of experience 10 times?" Right? And so so and you're only the sum of the books you've read, the people that you've met, and the things you've tried to execute, right? So that's
Yeah.
that's really it. At the end of the year, did you actually gain any experience or not? And for the vast majority, the answer is not. And so what I do to read is I read until I see something I've never tried.
Hmm.
I read until I see something, then you put the damn book down and you go screw it up and fail, right? And that's how you do it. So, because that's how you learn, and then you
Yeah.
adjust and you go along the way. And because I'm dumb enough to try 52 things a year, right? Everyone keeps asking me, "How do you have so much experience?" I'm like, "How do you not?" Right?
Right? What are you doing with your life? Like
Yeah.
read a
So hence,
book,
hence a book
man.
a week, but you push until you hit something that you never seen before, or never tried, and that's new. Let's screw it up. And then the whole point is, there's another good quote, which was, "I will strive to make better mistakes." Right. And as long as you keep that up, you're always going to end up beating, your past self, and you're always going to get up doing better, right? So Fantastic. Good on
No,
you for reading.
I
Very few
totally
people
agree.
do that. So
Yeah, I totally agree. You know, I hate reading. I'll tell you that. But I read that like all of these millionaires and billionaires, like more billionaires than millionaires, but like the really rich guys that are really making it, they're changing the world. They're
Mhm.
reading like freaking 50 books a year. I'm like, how, with what time? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, but like you shape the reading to which, you have ADHD, I have ADHD, right? Who's got time to read the
Yeah,
whole book cover to cover? Yeah, not us. So you just read until you execute something and then you pull the trigger and you try it, right? That's the whole
yeah,
point, right? It's not the reading that's the point, it's the doing that's the point, right?
yeah. It's the learning the little nugget from the book and then applying it or like
Mhm.
getting that to better your life.
That's
That's
all there is to it. But you just have to figure
100%.
out what your learning style is, right?
Yeah, I 100% am believing that everyone should read, even if you don't like reading, read like a page a
Mm,
day and just get started that way.
I love it.
I actually what helps me is I set timers. I'll set a timer depending on how extreme my ADHD is that day, like
Mhm.
how focused I am. I'll
Oh,
set a timer either at 5 minutes or at 30 minutes. And then
that's a
once
good
the
one.
timer is up, I'm done. I'm like, nope, I put
Ever,
the book
ever seen one of these little babies? It's a little cube that you
down.
can set 15 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever, and you just put it up to
You are
whatever,
my people, Earl. Where
and
have
then
you
it just
been?
goes, right? So,
I'm so
so
glad that we have met each other now that we can connect on these.
absolutely, this is a great conversation. You know
Mhm.
what? Since you're into books, there's a really awesome book I keep rereading, and it's called The Road Less Stupid. The Road Less
Yeah.
Stupid. One of my favorites. I've read this book at least 10 times. And every time I read it, I pick up something new. So The Road Less Stupid is
I'll
a
check that out.
wonderful, wonderful book.
Thanks for the tip.
No worries. All right.
Appreciate
Well,
it.
why don't we move along to the third part where it's people want to connect with you. So they've seen you, they heard you, maybe they need some help with the Web3 marketing, maybe they need some help with some, just whatever advice that you can give them. Where can we find you? Where do we follow you? Where do we talk to you? How do we find you?
Well, I am a very social butterfly. I am everywhere. You can literally find me everywhere. Um, I just want to say one thing before I drop my contact information or like
Mhm.
which social channels are best to contact me. I just launched a digital marketing course, believe it or not. After my last, I've been in marketing for the last 10 years, and now I have my MBA. And I realize that a lot of people can't afford, like startups, especially like solopreneurs, can't afford agency. Like they need to do it themselves in the very beginning to like get traction, to build an audience or to build a community. So
Yes.
for that reason, I created a digital marketing course. You can access it at Rebekah-Jenkins.com.
Okay.
I'm actually giving away, if you don't even buy my course, that's fine. I'm giving away a free ebook that I wrote as well. It's all about
Nice.
branding. It's like how to find your identity that like in your company. And if you register and book a call with me, then I will give you the ebook. And honestly, even if you don't book a call with me, I'll give it to you anyway. just
Awesome.
send me a DM on Instagram. So I'm everywhere, but if you want to really reach out to me, if you want to really connect with me, LinkedIn probably is the best way.
Okay.
I'm a big LinkedIner, and you just find me by searching my name, Rebekah Jenkins, and I'll have a nice little image there. I think it's like orange or red
That's
background. Very
cool.
yeah,
Fantastic. I'm
and
literally going to connect with you after this. The first thing
yeah,
I'm going to
please do.
do on
Please do.
LinkedIn.
And on my links, I have a link tree. And then if you click on the link, it shows every social media
Cool.
platform
That
you can
that
find.
makes it easier as well. Fantastic.
Yes. Makes it
Well,
really easy that way. I love Linktree or those ones that just put everything together because there's just way too many social medias to like.
absolutely. I do the same thing. I have something called OVU that has all of them, right? So you just stick
Oh,
them all on there.
yeah, it's
Um,
probably just like Linktree is.
yeah, exactly, exactly. So thank you so much for being on the show. It was an absolute pleasure having you here. Do you have any parting words of wisdom that you want to give to the crowd before we call it a show?
I would just say, chase your dreams. Don't wait for permission from anyone to do the
Mm,
thing that you feel in your heart you need to do. I was deathly afraid after I exited my company
mm-hmm.
in the blockchain industry. after working on that company for 4 years that I'm like, what am I going to, can I really do my agency? Can I really go into Web3 as a marketing person? I'm like, me as someone who just got her master's and has all of this experience, I have imposter syndrome. So everybody has the sometimes that negative thoughts in the back of their head. At least a lot of people do.
Yes.
I would just say, go for it. Go for it. Chase your dreams. That's my words of wisdom.
Fantastic. Well, awesome having you on the show. Thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you so much, Earl. Appreciate it.